Well, good morning, everybody. It's the last week of September. And Julie and I are back over in the Wind River Range of Wyoming. We're going to do a little day hike. We're going to hike up to Jackass Pass.
We hope.
In and out in one day. It's going to be a long hike. It's a cold one this morning. The sun hasn't come up yet. And we're starting early because it gets dark early. And we want to make sure we have enough time to enjoy the views and also take it easy. But it is 18 degrees this morning. So it's a cold one. If it looks like we're dressed like winter, because it feels like winter. Well, Big Sandy Lake 6. We're going to head up to Jackass Pass. Well, I have a new camera this year. I just picked up a GoPro Hero 11 just last week, as a matter of fact. And I jumped a generation. My last camera was a GoPro Hero 9. And if you watched my channel much, you know I had a lot of issues with my GoPros and cold weather. But I bought the Enduro battery last year for the 9, and that seemed to solve all the cold weather and temperature issues. And the Hero 11 comes with that battery as their standard battery. So I think all those issues are behind me. One of the reasons I made the leap to the Hero 11 is that it has a little bit larger sensor. So it should do a little bit better in low light. In fact, it's not really dark right now, but the sun isn't up. It's going to be up in a few minutes. So this is kind of twilight. See how the color is. So anyway, this is all shaded before the sun comes up. Let me know what you think. Well, the sun is just now starting to come up, and we're going to really appreciate the warmth of those rays today. I have an interesting little story I'd like to relay to you. The last time that we hiked into the Cirque from the Big Sandy Trailhead was in 1975. It's hard to believe it's been over 47 years since we've been on this route. We've hiked all around it, but this has become so popular we just have done lots of other places in the winds. Anyway, I'll dial it back to 1975. I was with this lovely lady here. We weren't married. She was my girlfriend at the time. And I wanted to impress her, so I wanted to take her to the prettiest place, the most amazing place that I knew of in the winds. It was a reasonably easy hike. And so we came in from Big Sandy, and we were up past Big Sandy Lake, and we're starting to climb up towards Jackass Pass, and there was an old gentleman. He was sitting on a rock, had a big long wooden staff, and we passed some pleasantries. He said hello, and he asked me where we were heading. And I said, well, we're going up to Jackass Pass. We're going to drop over into the Cirque. And he looks at me and he goes, well, you know, if you're going to go to Jackass Pass, you're going the wrong way. I used to do a lot of climbing, so I'd been into the Cirque of the Towers several times before. And I said, no, we're going over Jackass Pass. I know where I'm going. And he repeated again. He said, well, if you think you're going up over Jackass Pass, you're not. So anyway, he was an old guy, which is funny. I'm probably just as old, if not older, than he was at the time. When Julie and I were done with our backpacking trip, we came back out. We stopped and we opened up the wilderness register, scanned down through the names, and there was his name, Finis Mitchell. And then it made me laugh, because even though I'd never met Finis Mitchell, I certainly knew who he was. And for people like me who grew up in this area, he was a famous explorer of the Wind Rivers. He often guided members of the American Alpine Clubs who were doing a lot of first ascents in the 50s and the 60s here in the winds. He ended up putting out a trail guide a few years later, and I bought the trail guide, and he has a little reference in there. He called this pass up here Big Sandy Pass, and then he puts in parentheses Jackass Pass. And he went to his grave knowing that everybody would probably call it Jackass Pass from then on out. Well, Cirque of the Towers is one of the most popular hikes in the Wind River Range. It's right along the Continental Divide Trail. there's times in the middle of the summer when the parking lot is so full that it's literally hundreds of cars of people coming in. This time of the year, obviously, it's pretty late in the season. We've only seen a few hikers, and there are lots pretty empty. But we just saw a solo female hiker walking down the trail, and it brings back quite an interesting memory. These days, it's not uncommon to see solo female hikers. You see them all the time. In fact, you probably see as many solo female hikers as you do male hikers. But reminiscing back to 1975, I can't honestly say that when I was backpacking back then that I ever saw a solo female backpacker. But when Julie and I came in here, we bumped into a gal, and I remember this so vividly because to me it was so unusual. And she was just literally covered with mosquitoes. Now, mind you, this was in July in the winds, back when they were a little bit wetter and the bugs were just horrible. And we stopped and we talked for a minute, and I offered her some mosquito repellent. It turns out she was from New Zealand and she just didn't anticipate there would be any bugs, so she didn't bring any mosquito repellent. And she was sure glad to see us, and so we doped her up. Unfortunately, we didn't have a spare bottle. We couldn't leave one with her, but she was sure thankful. And to this day, I'll remember that look in her eyes when she was just literally battling the mosquitoes, because I personally can't imagine being without mosquito repellent here in July. Well, I hope you enjoyed a little hike today. The Cirque of the Towers certainly is a special place, sort of the crown jewel of the Wind River Mountains. It was really a long day hike today. Looks like we're going to be pushing 10 hours and something north of 17 miles. And I'm currently showing 3,351 feet of elevation gain today, but there was quite a few ups and downs. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my video. If you have, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Until next time, be safe, be kind, and let's pray for peace.